Welcome, guys, to another week of predictions. This is going to be week 5 games. Let's get into it. Now, we got the first game of the week, number 5. And that is going to be an NFC West divisional game. It is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Los Angeles Rams. Last week, Niners got Brock Purdy back, but it didn't look great for Brock Purdy and the Niners. They lost. And the Rams, I think they won. I didn't watch the game, but I love the Rams defense, so I'm going with the Rams on Thursday night. Now we get to the Sunday morning game. The very early morning game in London is the 2-2 Vikings at the 1-3 Cleveland Browns. I mean, yeah, if the Browns had a hard game last week after they beat the Packers, they had to go play the Detroit Lions. They were in that game until the second half, and I don't know what happened in the second half. The Lions just destroyed the Browns, and the Minnesota Vikings played the Steelers last week in Dublin, Ireland, and they lost. They couldn't do nothing on offense. Carson Wentz was horrible, and this week they're gonna be playing in the London game too. I don't know why they put the Vikings back to back in London. That's not right for the Vikings. But it is the Browns. The Browns do have a defense, and if their offense can do anything, they might have a chance of beating the Vikings. But I hate to say this, but I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. Next game we come to is the Houston Texans at Baltimore Ravens. Last week, Houston had a blowout victory against the Tennessee Titans, 26-0. But that's not saying much. Not saying much at all because it was the Tennessee Titans, and Tennessee's not that great of a team. On the other hand, the Baltimore Ravens, they played the Kansas City Chiefs last Sunday and they lost. But that loss was not bigger than who they lost. They lost 3 major stars in that game. And one of the major stars they lost was Lamar Jackson with a hamstring injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but without Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens are kind of screwed. The Cooper Rush is not that QB to win games. On that note, I'm going with the Houston Texans just because they have CJ Stroud at the helm. The next game we are going to talk about is the Miami Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers got a win last week. First win. And the Miami Dolphins got their first win. But Miami took a big blow to one of their stars. I didn't see the play, but everybody's telling me that it looked horrible. And I am talking about Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill suffered an injury in the third quarter. It looked like, Adam Scheffler tweeted out he might have a dislocated knee. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he can come back. Is it like a 5-week, 4-week injury? We don't know. But if I know more information, I'll get it to you guys. And the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young is playing pretty good this year. But the offense needs a little bit more help. But I am going with the Miami Dolphins on this one because they still have Waddle, Darren Waller, HN running the ball. They have weapons. So my pick is the Miami Dolphins. Next game is the Raiders and the Colts. The Colts got their first loss last week. And the Raiders, they barely lost. They lost by a field goal to the Bears. No, not a field goal, but a blocked extra point by the Bears. But, yeah, I think Vegas needs a little bit more talent. And I love what I see out of Daniel Jones and Taylor. So I'm picking the Colts to win this game over the Vegas Raiders. Next, we come to the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints. Last week, New Orleans took on Buffalo Bills and they hang around. They hang around, but they make mistakes that lose them the game, and that's what happened last week to the Saints. Now going to the Giants, they did win the game, and they did start their rookie QB, Jackson Dart, but they lost a big addition to the team. They lost Malik Willis. I think his season is over this year. I think it's the ACL tear on his right knee, I believe. So, but I'm still gonna go with the Giants here. Because Jackson Dart looked great, and the Saints. Spencer Rattler, he's not that guy to lead the team. So I'm going with the New York Giants on this one. Now we come to the Cowboys and the Jets. Last week, I'm sorry to say, the Cowboys, they tied with the Green Bay Packers. Man, Green Bay disappointed me last week. And the Cowboys impressed me a little bit. All week long, everybody was saying Cowboys could not compete with the Packers. But they stuck around. And now the Jets took on Miami and lost to the Miami Dolphins. Justin Fields looked great, but that team doesn't look great at all. Dak Prescott is playing like an MVP player. He made George Pickett look like a top 5 receiver. Because of that, I'm taking the Cowboys over the New New York Jets in this game. Next game, it is the Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are rolling right now. They're 4-0. They're on top of the division. Actually, they're top on the NFC conference also. And then we got the Denver Broncos at 2-2. They beat the Bengals, but that's not a great victory. Bengals had no QB. Browning is not that great of a QB. And Bo Nix, I like the kid. I'm really high on Bo Nix. I believe in Bo Nix. I'm going with my heart here, but I'm picking the Denver Broncos to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Next game, it is the Tennessee Titans and the Arizona Cardinals. Interesting game. Cardinals lost to the Seahawks last Thursday, but they did climb back into that game and lost it at the end. On the other hand, we go to the Tennessee Titans. Not so good. They got blown out last week by the Houston Texans. They couldn't even get a field goal. That's how bad it is in Tennessee. And it looks like they lost Calvin Ridley to injury. He might be out for a couple of weeks. So I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals over the Tennessee Titans. Just because the Cardinals look way better than the Titans. Next game we had is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle took on the Arizona Cardinals last Thursday and got the victory. And they're in second place, right behind the San Francisco 49ers. Sam Darnold looks good. Walker Jr. looks good out there. JSN looks good out there. Surprisingly, that defense looks pretty well too. And on the other hand, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They took on the Eagles, I believe, or was it some other team, but they did win. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks. My eye test says the Seahawks look really good. And last week, Baker Mayfield, he threw a couple of interceptions. He has to keep that down. Oh yeah, that's right, they played the Falcons, I believe. So yeah. Now we come to the last game in the afternoon. That is the Detroit Lions, and then we got the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals started out strong, starting out 2-0, but they lost their last two. We all know the reason why they lost two straight. It's because Joe Burrow is hurt and not there. And last week, it looked like without Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase didn't look good out there. T. Higgins didn't look good out there. That whole offense didn't look good with Browning at QB. Like I said, they should trade for Russell Wilson. He is out there. They could trade him. And we go to the other side of the ball, and the Detroit Lions. They took on the Browns. They let the Browns hang around in the first half. But when the second half came around, man, the Lions dominated that game. Domination in that game. And now the Lions look like they're on top of the NFC North at 3-1. And we all know the Packers are 2-1-1. So yeah. Now we come to the other game. It is the Chargers and the Washington Commanders. Without Jaden Daniels, Washington looks iffy at most. But the disappointing team last week was the Chargers getting their first loss. I'm expecting the Chargers to bounce back. Washington, I don't know what their team is about. Are they a running team or are they a passing team? We don't know. Jaden Daniels is not there still. And the Chargers still have Justin Herbert. So I'm taking the Chargers just because of Justin Herbert. Now we come to the Sunday night game. And wait a minute. This Sunday night game is crap, by the way. It's the Patriots and the Bills. This is going to be a blowout by the Bills. Bills had a huge victory last week. Patriots, they got a win, but, it wasn't that impressive. And, Josh Allen looks like an MVP player again. James Cook is running the ball really well. Dalton Kincaid had his second touchdown in 2 weeks. I love Drake May for the Patriots, but it's still no weapons over there. They still need to put some weapons around Drake May in Boston. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in this game. Now, finally, we get one Monday night game, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both of these teams got a huge win. The Chiefs beat the Ravens, but the Ravens had nobody on defense, and they lost Lamar Jackson. But I'm not making any excuses how they won. Now the Jaguars, they competed hard against the Niners and came away with the victory. Travis Etienne ran the ball well. Trevor Lawrence, game manager, that kind of stuff. So I'm taking the upset here. I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars to win on Monday Night Football over the Kansas City Chiefs. But there you go, guys. There you go, guys. That is it for Week 5 prediction. That is my prediction. Like I always say every week, these are my prediction, not anybody else's prediction. So hopefully I'm right this week. And like I always say, stay safe, stay positive, and always go Pack Go. And I'll see you in the next video. Alright guys, you have a good one.